On Friday, we saw the New York Rangers make two massive moves, trading away captain Jacob Trouba over to the Anaheim Ducks, as well as his $8 million cap hit, coming off the books now for a fourth-round pick in Urho Vakanainen, a mid-20s kind of decent depth defenseman. Also giving a massive historic extension to Igor Shesterkin, making him the highest-paid goaltender of all time. That was a massive contract. There definitely are some mixed feelings on that contract extension. So in today's video, I really wanted to kind of dive in deeper to both these moves that did happen, the extension and the trade, because I think they have some pretty major implications and kind of, impact on this franchise, not only for just this season, but also going forward into the future as well. So we'll talk a bit about that. Also, the New York Rangers, continues struggles, obviously, that have continued for a while now. And I also want to kind of dive into a bit of the moves that we kind of need to see and could possibly see in the very near future as well. Like I said, I think these were some pretty massive moves here. Trading away Jacob Trouba and re-signing, extending our goaltender Igor Shesterkin. Now, starting off with the Jacob Trouba side of things there, I think it's almost unanimous that, most Rangers fans, I think, would agree with me on this when I say that this was a great move. I think getting off the contract, just in the first place, getting off that contract for, let's say, nothing, would have been phenomenal. Not having to give up assets alongside Trouba to get off that massive contract, which is for this season and one more after this one, next season as well, with an $8 million cap hit. If you get off that for just nothing, future considerations, I think that would have been a home run. But the fact that we also got back a depth defenseman, just kind of a throwing guy there, nothing too crazy, Urho Vakanainen, but a depth guy, which is fine. But the big thing is, we also got back a fourth-round pick. Now, you may say, hey, it's a fourth-round pick, who really cares? And that's fair. It's a fourth-round pick. It doesn't mean a whole ton there, but the fact that we actually got back a valuable asset for Jacob Trouba, to trade away Jacob Trouba and get an asset back in return and not have to give up, a fourth-round pick alongside Trouba or whatever it would have been, I'm very happy about. I think that was a great trade by Chris Drury to not only just get off that contract, but be able to do so without retaining any salary on it. The full $8 million went over the Ducks, and we also get back a fourth-round pick. And on the Ducks side of things there, I think they did all right in this trade. Definitely, giving up a fourth-round pick, I don't necessarily think was kind of needed in this deal personally. Now, obviously, apparently it was, but my thoughts were going to be the entire time that we were not getting off him for nothing. We would have to give up something, or maybe it would be nothing, and it's pretty much just, a maybe depth defenseman like Urho for Trouba. I never really thought we'd be able to get a pick in return. Now, with the way the rumors were kind of going, it was always in the back of my head where I kind of thought we might actually, although it made no sense to me. Darren Dreger had a report that came out a while ago, a long time ago now, that apparently there was 20 teams interested in Jacob Trouba this summer. Now, how accurate that was, who exactly knows, but clearly there are teams that, are interested in Jacob Trouba. So to me, it kind of made sense that we were going to get a pick possibly, but I still just never understood how it was going to happen because, we backed ourselves into a corner with this contract here. We had no leverage at all. It was so obvious we were trying to get rid of Trouba there and him being a liability and all that kind of stuff for us. I never really understood how we could possibly get some value back in return for Trouba, but it ends up happening there, and I am very, very thankful for that, although to me, it still makes no sense how we were able to get something back for Jacob Trouba that was, a positive value there. It wasn't like, we got back a completely negative contract and got that fourth-round pick for Trouba there. We got back an expiring contract, a decent depth defenseman, and a pick for a awful contract and a not good player at all as well. And going over to the Igor Shesterkin side of things here, I think in general, there definitely seems to be a lot of mixed emotions and feelings amongst Rangers fans with this contract. But at the end of the day, it's signed. He's locked in here. He's not going anywhere, and he's going to be a part of this organization for a very long time with a $11.5 million cap hit. Now, did I ever want to see Igor get paid, that 10.5, 11.5, something around there, mil mark? It wasn't the ideal situation. Obviously, it's not what I wanted to see, but I understand why it happened. Igor, I think, has proven to be the by far best goaltender in the entire NHL over the last three playoffs. I think in general, when you count, for just in general, every single goaltender who has played in the playoffs over the last 3 seasons, I think he has been by far the best. And I'm not even saying, by a bit. I think he has proven to be consistently the by far best goaltender throughout the last 3 playoff runs for any NHL team, any goal in the NHL. I think he's been by far the best in the playoffs there. And, the regular season, that's a different story there. He has not been even, I would say, like a top 3 goaltender, for the most part there, other than obviously he had that Vezina Trophy winning season where he was, such a great player, pretty much the best player in the entire NHL, you could almost argue as well, right? Like right up there in MVP building and all that kind of stuff there. So he was truly elite that season when he won the Vezina back in 2021, 2022. Back when we went all the way to the Eastern Conference Finals and lost against Tampa there in Game 6, that was a great regular season by Igor Shesterkin. But other than that, Vezina winning season, he hasn't really put up those elite kind of true top tier numbers that we know that he is kind of capable of doing and, is that kind of level of goaltender. But when it comes to playoffs there, that's really when he kind of shines brightest there. He really puts on a show when the playoffs come around there, and that's been an issue for this team. As we have guys like, Panarin, Zibanejad, and some other players as well who, maybe don't play their best hockey, whereas a guy like Igor Shesterkin, well, he's going to put on his best performance and play his best hockey by far in the playoffs when things matter most. So I think there's definitely a factor to that as well is, regular season right now, like we're seeing, he may not be playing his best overall hockey, but I think in general, when the playoffs have come around, especially over the last 3, seasons, he has proven to be an elite, top-tier playoff performer, which says a lot there because this is a Rangers team that we all know, don't play the greatest defensively, aren't the toughest team defensively, so we're giving up a lot of shots there. We're getting outworked for the most part 5-on-5, and we're allowing a decent amount of high-danger scoring chances, but at the end of the day, Igor Shesterkin comes through big time in the playoffs there, even when we're getting outshot by, 15, 20 shots, whatever it is, at least 10 plus pretty much for the most part, we're getting outshot by. Igor comes in clutch there and puts on a great performance, shuts the door for the most part, and gets the job done. So I think that definitely plays into a part there what his contract is, being that $11.5 million cap hit. Now, if you are someone who is a little worried about our cap space situation going forward, into the future, definitely go check out my video that I posted yesterday, really kind of breaking down the kind of cap space situation for the New York Rangers for not only, this season right now and up until the deadline, but also into this upcoming offseason and into the future as well. I really kind of dove into those numbers. So definitely take a look at that video because it might give you a little more relief and a little more hope about this team going forward because their cap space situation is not that bad, especially when you consider a guy like Panarin. He'll be coming off the books in his massive contract in the somewhat near future. We've got some other contracts that are going to be coming up as well. So definitely check that video out if you've not already because our cap space situation may not be as bad as some of you may think after seeing, the Lafreniere extension and the Igor Shesterkin extension hit the books as well, which will come into effect this upcoming offseason in 2025. And I'm not going to talk terribly long about this, but I do want to talk a bit about, the obviously continuous poor play from the Rangers as well as the needs that this team does have because I know I've talked a decent amount about it in the past and made videos on, the needs and stuff like that we do have, but it's just continuously here. The problems that we do have, the not great defensive play, the getting outworked at 5-on-5, the getting outshot, the allowing more chances than we're getting, for the most part there, it is consistently in these games. And the goaltending has not been perfect either. We have seen Quick and Shesterkin not play their greatest hockey either, that's for sure. But for the most part there, these issues have been around this organization for a season and season now. It's been so long that we've seen these kind of same mistakes and issues from this organization. It is very frustrating to see, but I do think there is a reason to still have a little hope. Now, for this season, as of right now, with the way things stand, I would not say we're a true, very serious Stanley Cup contender, but we're not in a spot where I'm super worried about not making playoffs as of this exact moment. And I am recording this before the games Monday night, but the New York Rangers right now are in the second wildcard spot, 1 point back, and have one more game played than the Tampa Bay Lightning for the top wildcard spot right now. And we are, tied with points with the Islanders for that second wildcard spot, but we do have 3 games in hand behind them. The Islanders is the Flyers with 28 points, so we're 1 point up on them with 2 games in hand, and then the team back of the Flyers is the Penguins, who have 3 more games played and 1 less point. So right now, we're not in the best spot in the world. We're not in the safest spot in the world, but we're not in that bad of a spot considering, how bad we played and all that kind of stuff there. We have played some terrible hockey. This team has not looked anywhere close to as good as we know they can be and have been even this season. So I think with how, bad things have gone and all that kind of stuff there is reason to have some hope here that this team is going to make playoffs and maybe be able to win a round or two. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win a cup, but this is not like a completely different team. We didn't get, so much worse from last season there. I think on paper going into this season, our team was actually looking a little better. And then we also had guys like Goalie take that massive step forward and Kakko turn things around. So I really and truly, don't think we're in a completely terrible spot about making playoffs. Now, about winning the cup, that's a completely different conversation there. We definitely know we need to see a lot more moves and big moves happen to really kind of get us around to being able to truly possibly win that Stanley Cup. But as of right now, to make playoffs, I think we're in an all right spot, although not a great one. Definitely not a terrible one, especially with how things have gone so far this season as well. But anyways, I want to thank you all so much for watching because, this team has not been great, but I really do love all the support that you all still show on these videos. Things may not be going great right now for us Rangers fans, but we all get to talk about it and kind of, discuss it here in the comments and on these videos. So I really do appreciate all of the support that you all show on these videos. If you are a New York Rangers fan, definitely hit that like and subscribe button for daily New York Rangers content. And also, don't forget to comment down below your thoughts on all these things as well. How we've been playing, the trades that we need to make, and also the 2 big moves that we did see happen Friday as well, with the Jacob Trouba trade happening, sending him over to the Anaheim Ducks, as well as his massive $8 million contract, and also the massive Igor Shesterkin extension that was given out Friday as well.